Running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans, welcome to Talking in Ovals. How's everybody doing out there on this Monday? Well, it's Monday, right? Yes, I don't even know what day it is. Monday, June 9th, 2025. I'm Alex. Dave, you're back.
I am back. It's so good to be back. I took a little hiatus because I had tons of coaching responsibilities. And, you know, as a coach, that's just what we do. We are always there for our athletes, but it's good to be back. And man, did I miss quite a bit.
That's Dave Zoya saying he doesn't like me very much, so he needed to take some time off from me. But we did 3 episodes without you. It wasn't the same as much as, I had fun talking to Diego. I had fun talking to Idos. And then last night, Mr. 100K a day. It wasn't the same without having you here, so it's happy to have you back, partner.
Listen, man, I just
so
can't
much has gone on.
Shout out to the New Jersey athletes who ran at Brooks this week. I mean, we're going to hear more about the meet, a little bit later. But I mean, to have Paige Shepard 201, Clemmy Lilly 204, Joe Barrett. I mean, Natalie Dumas keeps on winning and keeps on winning. It's New Jersey is an absolute juggernaut right now, and it's just great to watch and to see.
So yeah, it's fun. Track and field right now is fun overall. And if you are watching, and if you saw me last night, it's not deja vu. You were getting 3 episodes this week. So last night I had on Mr. 100K a day. I had a fun conversation. We talked about his controversy over at Grand Slam and all that stuff. So go back and give that a listen from last night. We've been there. We have another show coming up this Thursday, and we're gonna jump into maybe not our guest. Our guest is gone. She cut out. But okay. So we'll wait for her to come back on and we'll introduce our guest. But we're going to jump in ourselves. And Dave, so let's talk a little bit. Oh, no, there she is. Let's bring her in. Let's see what we got here. Zariel, you good?
Hello. Yep.
I saw you hop in and out for a second. So our guest today is Zariel Macchia. She is a star senior distance runner over at William Floyd High School in New York and a BYU commit. Zariel, what's going on?
Hey, good to be here with you guys today.
I am pumped, and you have had quite the day already, and we appreciate you taking the time to jump over here. You had just came back from Brooks PR.
Yes.
Where you ran a monster 3,200 as you have been.
2 mile. 2 mile.
Well, yeah, it was a legit 2 mile. Sorry, not the 32, a legit 2 mile. But, and we're gracious that you came on and you decided to give us some time. So we truly, truly, truly appreciate it. So I want to jump right in with all the fun stuff that we have. Well, first things first, actually, I want to give a shout out to one of our former guests and technically your teammate, but alumni teammate next year, Megan Hunter. She's over there at BYU now, and she is kicking on all cylinders. Recently just ran a 158 and 3rd fastest time ever in NCAA history, looking like a shoe-in to win NCAAs. I don't want to, knock
There's
on
no shoe-ins, but
anything. But shout out to her. She's a monster, and it was just so fun when we did talk to her, talking about what she's planning on doing and the fact that she's going out and doing it. So keep kicking ass, Megan. We are pumped for you.
One more shout out. We got to go quick to one of our other former guests, Josette Andrews.
My God.
14:25, third fastest time in American history. An absolute phenomenal race. I mean, we are getting to a point where you don't run 14:30 as a girl, then it's crazy. It's crazy how fast everyone is now.
It's getting to a point too where we're gonna have to update our intro video to like all of our guests. Like, it might actually be cool if we take a bunch of our former guests and we switch up the intro video with some of like our great high schoolers and stuff. Zariel, you're gonna have to send us some video of you running. We'll put you in the intro video. How does that sound?
Right.
So
Sounds good.
So we want to go with you, and we want to start right away with you, because you have a fun story with some of the things that have gone on. But we want to go into the Wayback Machine first, because whether I don't know if you've seen the show, but what we like to do with our guests initially is we like to talk about your running career. So first things first, when did you get the spark to want to become a runner? Not necessarily when you first started running, but when something clicked in you saying, this is what I want to pursue.
I mean, I've always, since like elementary school, my dad used to coach high school when I was younger. Both my parents ran. So it was always something that I had been around even before I started running myself. I always wanted to. Like in elementary school, we would have our field days, and I would always be the one to do like the distance run and the sprint. And I'd always make sure like I tried to like beat the boys and everybody, and I'd be really happy about it. I'd come home and be like, oh, I won the race today in field day. It's like a 400-meter run. It was a long run, but yeah, I always enjoyed running, and I always wanted to do the best that I could and try to win. And yeah, very competitive in everything that I did.
I love that. I love that you just have a competitive nature and that you just want to keep on going out there and winning, and kind of your spark is just being a competitor. And that's so much fun. That is what you want to do. So I want you now to walk with us down memory lane. I don't know how long you've been running. It seems like you've been wanting to be a runner and have ran for a pretty long time, most of your life. What have been some of your favorite memories from being a runner, from when you first started running, even if it was like fun runs when you did as a kid, up until now as you're a senior about to enter into college soon?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so I started running in like 7th grade. I ran my first race in 6th grade at our library's local 5K, because the 2 years before that I wanted to run it, but my parents wouldn't let me, because they obviously, yeah, they were both runners and they knew how hard the sport could be, and if I really wanted to pursue it in the future, I didn't need to start too young. But eventually I told them that I was going to run it, whether they let me or not, and I wanted to be my mom.
Hey.
So then they agreed to let me run it. And yeah, so that kind of started my running career. And then I'd say like some of my best memories, well, up there is the first time I made Foot Locker Nationals as a freshman. I had gone to watch nationals as a 7th grader, and ever since then I had made it like my life's goal to make it there one day. Maybe by senior year I could make Foot Locker, and like miraculously I was able to make it as a freshman, and it was just the most amazing feeling. And yeah, like when you set like a big lifetime goal like that and you achieve it like way earlier than you were ever expecting to, there's just nothing that can really compare to that level of excitement. And the first time that you do something like that, and like Foot Locker is like an amazing event. So the first time like I got to see like how they treat the athletes, and like get to meet all the best athletes in the country and just like have fun and get to know them. Yeah, like no time feeling. But I'd say like a lot of my favorite memories were getting to know people in the running community, and like going to these big races where you have roommates, and I feel like I've gotten very close to a lot of my roommates, just because like you're going out and doing something great together, achieving like these really difficult goals together, and I think that really creates a strong bond between us.
Yeah. You know what? And there is nothing better than having a lifelong goal that you achieve as a freshman. And that way you're just, because then you just have to keep changing your goals over and over again, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
And on top of that too, like that's such a cool thing to, as you went to it in 7th grade and now you were able to be there. So outside of that, now when you went to nationals, you went to Foot Lockers, what was the next goal? Was the next goal to just continue to compete at that national level, rise to the top and run in college? What were some of your, other memories that you had along the way in achieving these goals?
Yeah, I mean, after I made it the first time, it was such an incredible experience. I just wanted to go back again. And I feel like once I saw what was out there, like if I kept like a high national level, like I just wanted to keep doing that. And yeah, I definitely made it my goal once I made it freshman year to try to make it back every year after that. And eventually, like I started doing the U20 races because I had already achieved my goal. So I kind of expanded it to something a little bit bigger. And doing U20s has been an amazing experience as well. So I feel like it's good to have goals that are achievable because it's really nice to be able to achieve your goals. And then you just set it to something a little bit bigger and just keep going from there.
There's something to be said about having the talent and the skill to achieve those goals, though, because I set a whole bunch of goals and I was not able to achieve them in my career. And, outside of that, there's also, blessed with good health. And, I always hope that all of our athletes that we have on this show continue to have good health. So one thing that I want to ask you is number one, William Floyd, is that in Long Island, your school?
Yes. Yeah,
So
Long Island.
in New York, I live here after I went to Marist. I'm a Jersey boy initially, but I went to Marist over here in Poughkeepsie and stayed. But honestly, I've always heard from people out here like Long Island is like a sports mecca in the area. Like obviously New York City has its great athletes and you have the Albany area like that Shaker and things like that, and they have really good athletes. But Long Island, it is so difficult to be good in Long Island. So has that helped you shape yourself into a competitor, having to battle with all the other good schools and athletes on Long Island?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like right now, Section 11, Suffolk County, Long Island, is like insanely deep. Especially like distance right now. We have multiple girls who are nationally ranked. Like we have our super standards, which like if you hit the super standard, you automatically qualify for state. I think in the 3,000, we had 5 people with the super standard before state
Wow.
qualifiers. So like, yeah, it's a very deep section right now. And I think having people at that level has definitely helped because like when you're around people who are successful and like driven and just like good people to be around, that definitely helps raise your level
Absolutely.
too. And yeah. So, and like if you're one of the best runners on Long Island, you're one of the best runners in the state and maybe the whole country. So I feel like having those people right here has definitely helped me get to such a high
Do you
level.
walk around with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder? It's like not only are you from New York, you're from Long Island. Like, is there that difference, especially when you're at these national events? It's like, yeah, it's nice you're from New York, but are you from Long Island? Like, are you? Because there is that separation in New York State
All the
from the
boroughs,
city,
yeah.
Long Island, and
Staten
like,
Island.
and then like what's that all considered upstate? Which upstate is like if you throw a rock outside the city, that's considered
Yeah.
upstate. But it's like there's the difference in like Long Island's its own area, the city's its own area, and then it's the rest of the state kind of competing against those two areas. Like, so do you
Exactly.
walk around with that chip on your shoulder, especially if you're at a big event and there's another Long Islander there?
Um, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it like a chip on my shoulder, but I definitely have a lot of Long
Yeah.
Island pride.
Swagger.
Um,
Absolutely.
like whenever I see someone from Long Island doing well, no matter what it is, I'm like, oh right, like let's go Long Island. Yeah, I definitely feel like we're separate from the rest of New York, and yeah, I have a lot of pride in Long Island, and I love seeing us
Dave and
do
I
so
share
well.
that. We're Shore Conference snobs, and we were both from the Shore Conference in Jersey. And it's one of those things like we're Shore Conference snobs. Like, yeah, we want to see Jersey do well,
Hey,
but if you're from the Shore Conference, we like you even more. Like,
listen, conference just got third in the 2 mile at a Brooks on the boys side with Joe
yeah.
Barrett, and then Clemmy Lilly just ran 2:04.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pride to be had there. But I mean, obviously, with Paige and Union, they have a little, they have on us about that though. We're not going to talk about Paige right now, even though Paige Shepard's a monster running a 201 and a negative split 201.
Sophomore.
Paige,
Yeah,
why are you
I
doing that?
was
To
flipping out
negative
watching
split.
that race. That was so exciting.
Whew.
I can't, a 201 in itself is ridiculous, but to go 61 and 60, like that is almost
And
offensive.
it was
Like
just a
that's so
it
crazy.
was a very smart race. She let the other girls go out in 58 and just came back. It was very well tactically run. It was a great race.
So I have a question for you. What has it been like for you at this point in your career, and especially over the last few years, going and picking and choosing some of these high level national races, right? Because in high school, if you were good when Dave and I were coming up, like we're a
There
little
was
bit
no meets like
apart,
this.
but there were like maybe you'd pick and choose one or so, and that was Millrose games if you got to run in that. That was, Penn Relays was our moment if you got to run in,
It, they didn't.
the with Championships of America there, and maybe Mount Sac if you were that good, you went out to Mount Sac or
Yeah,
something.
there
Like
was no trials of miles. There was no Brooks
no.
meets. Like it's awesome what you guys have now at your disposal. It's so cool. Like you can just go anywhere and run a fast time and run a fast race against top level competition. And you don't have to do it in a race where there's pro runners anymore. Like high school kids can
Mhm.
get together now and all run ridiculous times because they're all that fast.
So, do you feel like it has helped you in terms of, your development as a runner and pushing you? Because Dave and I often talk on here that track has gone so much towards running fast times and getting away from racing. So, have you found that you're running in all these big meets, but then when you have to come and run like a state meet where maybe there isn't everyone there, you're trying to figure out tactics again? How has that worked for you as a runner?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think having all of these big meets has definitely been great. That's helped a lot. And like, not only do they have together to run fast times, they also like treat us really well. And they usually have like fun events for us to do. They give us like a ton of gear, like shoes and everything like that. So I think that's definitely helped a lot. Because like I said, like once you go to one, it's just so great. You just want to keep being able to go to these kinds of meets. There's nothing better. Um, But I'd say I've always, like me and my coaches, like have always focused on racing people and just like getting
Smart.
in the race and competing rather than just like trying to hit a fast time. Like I'm definitely trained more so for like for long term development, and I feel like there's still a lot more space for me to improve. I know there's a lot more space for me to improve left, and I've just been like focusing like running well consistently and just like that steady improvement to be able to hit those long-term goals over just like getting caught up in the short term. Oh, like this person just went out and ran a record, now I should go out and run a record. So I get in like good races like a few times a season, like like really good races, but for the most part I don't get too caught up in trying to go for times.
I love that mentality too. And I love that mentality of having these long term goals and really wanting to work towards that long term. Because in the same race that you were just in at Brooks PR, you ran a freakishly fast time of 10:13, right? Which is a awesome race. But in that same race, your future teammate, Jane, always say her last name wrong. Hedengren, that's a hard name to say, but Jane Hedengren runs a 9:17, right? So that's exciting, and that's something that is, I think it's so cool for us to see. And sometimes it might be tough as you're participating in it, right, to go and enjoy that because you're running the race. But it's like, is there that cool moment too where you're looking at her and it's like, that's my future teammate, like we're gonna train together? Like how fun is that?
Oh, I mean, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, it's just ridiculous what Jane's able to do right now. So I'm definitely excited to be teammates with her next year. And yeah, I think that's going to be really cool. Because like I said, I know there's a lot more room for me to improve. So I think once I get to BYU with the girls there, with Coach Taylor,
Yeah.
and start focusing more on like on the running, well, then I think it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be fun to watch what you guys do there, because I really feel like they are setting up to have such a fun situation with you two, where I could see in like a year or so, 2 years, we're looking at nationals where it's you two just basically which one of you is going to win right now. Like, yeah, I'm so excited to be seeing what you guys do. It's going to be so much fun. But let's talk about the here and now, because this year, as exciting as it's been, as great as it's been, wasn't necessarily promised, right? In the past, over the last few years, you've had some troubles with New York State and their
Yes.
governing body in terms of athletics. So you're still battling, right? In a court case against the NYSPHSAA, which I hate that acronym. It is so long. But so tell it for people that don't know, most of our fans probably do know, but what happened and what are you fighting for?
Yeah, so I ran a race against college athletes, which you're allowed to do, but in one of the rules in the rule book, it's written in a way where, depending on how the other athletes registered for the race, then I could be deemed ineligible to compete for NYSPHSAA for the rest of the season. And it's a rule that isn't really applied to anybody, not to anybody, but it's a rule that's never implemented very often. And
Was it meant to like keep amateurism like
it
intact?
was kind of an odd scenario because
Did we lose Zariel? Oh no.
sorry.
Here she is. You're back. Yeah.
Um
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so there's some rules in the rule book that aren't meant to exclude athletes, but just because of how they're written, then they could be used to penalize athletes and restrict people from these opportunities that they earned. It's not an unfair advantage. Anybody could do it if you earn it, and I think that it's important. Like at this point, I'm graduating, but I want to keep trying to get them to change this rule, because I don't think that anybody should be denied or penalized for taking advantage of an opportunity that they earned and they deserve to have just because of a slight change in wording in the rules. And so I found that the running community is extremely supportive. There are people out there who will do anything to try to from competing against them, which in this case is what happened. And I don't think that we should have rules that allow that kind of behavior to happen. I know there's a lot of other states that have rules that bring down their athletes instead of supporting them. Should change those rules so that we support all of our athletes. So it's kind of what I'm trying to accomplish.
So it sounds like one of your competitors was upset that you were running against college kids, and they found some loophole that they brought to the state people, and were like, she's running against college kids. Like, come on, like that's just like, if you can't beat them, then train harder.
You're actually allowed. Yeah, you're kids. I was registered unattached, but it was that some of the college kids were registered under name and not as unattached athletes. And registered unattached, same race, same day, everything. In the past, many New York runners have done this, and it's been perfectly fine. It was just that somebody noticed this rule. It's actually not. This rule isn't even in the rule book that they give coaches. You have to purchase it separately from NYSPHSAA. So many coaches have been coaching for decades had never even heard of it before. So someone really just found this this loophole to try to get me out. But then they all state meet, which is the point where I decided that this is not okay anymore. I have to try to do something, because just doesn't want me in the state meet or publicity that I got from it being excluded too. So I just kind of wanted to try to for this past state meet and going on into the future to be like I said, near supporting our athletes, not taking them, bringing them down.
Sure, but again, like this goes in line with some of the things that we talk about, like just the sport of track and field in general. Like why? Like why do we have all these little minute little rules that don't benefit anybody? Like what is the issue if you go and if you're good enough to run a race? Like because it would make more sense to me if they're like you can't run against college kids at all. Fine, dumb rule, but fine. But the fact that you're
Yeah.
it matters the fact how the other athletes register affects you is asinine. It's a problem with this sport. Like there's so many little minute rules that make zero sense, and most of them are just there to inhibit the athletes to be the best versions of themselves. So kudos to you for
Yeah.
taking this on, and I'm so glad that they let you run in your state meet. That it was rectified and justified. And some, I mean, you're still going through it, but at least while you're going through it, they let you compete because of the how other kids entered a meet, it affected. That's just another dumb track thing that just boggles my mind.
Yeah. Well, and apparently it's not even a track specific rule. What we found out was it was like a 40-year-old rule that was meant more for like basketball and those kinds of like rough contact sports. So it's not even a track specific rule, but they tried to get it applied
Now-
to track, like as an umbrella, which it doesn't work
No.
for track. So that's why I hope that we can get it changed or reworded or just dropped altogether because it doesn't make sense for our
Does that
sport.
also apply to pro meets, or is it just college?
No, there's nothing about professional
So you can
meets
run
in the rule.
you can run
So-
against pros in high school, but you can't run against college kids.
God.
According to the wording in this rule, that is
Now,
correct.
is that New York State specific, or is that something that's more on the national level?
It's a New York State rule.
I mean, I'm sure there's been kids in New York who have run against pros. I guarantee it.
Oh,
Yeah,
many. In the case that was what we were looking at that too. There's many examples of kids doing the same exact thing and no penalties.
It's like, so you can run against pros, but not college. I mean, like, just can someone just like listen to the logic and just make sense of it? Because it's really just that. It's that simple. Like, it's not that hard to decipher. If you can run against pros, you can certainly run against college kids. It's crazy.
And, there's the two things that I see here. Number one, there was always the rule of amateurism that I always knew. It was like, hey, compete, but don't take the money, right? You're still an amateur if you don't take the money.
Usually,
and that's always been the way it was to keep your amateurism. You can go run in a race with prize money, but if you win it, you just say, I can't take it. I'm an amateur. And, it just goes back, whatever. So that was number one. Number two, I'm here in New York, y'all. I have two kids that are eventually going to enter possibly into that long acronym for New York, whatever it is. Can we just be adults? Why do you have to sue them to get this done? Like, it is insane that it needs to be a court case for this to get done. Just be adults. Sit in the room, read the rule. Maybe have Zariel with her parents and their representative in the room. Look at it, say this rule, it's stupid. All in favor of this rule being stupid and striking it, say aye. Aye. Done. This doesn't need to happen. This is such a waste of everybody's time.
Not only that,
oh my God,
they should penalize the athlete who brought this up because it's that silly.
I don't want to penalize the.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. And we tried to appeal, but they said there's no appeal process and we have to go to court is the only way.
Again, not being an adult, not figuring out a simple solution.
A lot of time and resources and money.
Living in New York State, that's what it is. Living in New York State, where every facet of it is mother may I, no you may not, why not, and round and round and round. So with that note of you saying that there is cost here, I want to bring up that you have your GoFundMe. And where'd it go? Oh my God.
Bottom left.
It's on the left.
Bottom left. There we go. I had it up and it went away. Probably went back. But here is your GoFundMe. And I want everyone to, if you just go and search Justice for Athletes here, and I'll actually put it in the chat. I'll put it in the show notes so people can go to it. But for everyone that hears the ridiculousness of this, please go donate. Because what Zariel's doing right now, she is fighting for future athletes. And hopefully, I'm honestly hoping that your court case can eventually become like the benchmark for other states. And I think we need to start searching for other states that have other archaic rules like this that are stupid. And we can use this after you win to make this happen because this is insane. So everyone, please go
Yeah.
to the GoFundMe and donate that, is watching and listening. And if you're listening here, just go to GoFundMe, search Justice for Athletes, and you'll see a picture of Zariel in her Floyd uniform, green, running. And please go over there and donate. Whatever you can donate helps because legal fees are not cheap.
Nope.
And she's doing this for not only all the young female athletes, but every athlete in New York to not have such a dumb rule hung over their head, especially in a time where there's so much more mixture between high school,
Sure.
college, and pro athletes because of the level of competition. I mean, this is wild, but this is New York State, y'all. This is it. This is what we have to deal with every single day. Not a surprise. So, Zariel, thank you so much for fighting. It's not easy to have a target on your back, especially when you are one of the premier athletes in the state. Like it is not easy. Have you felt some pressure or gotten any pushback from, people from the New York State as you're at some of these bigger meets or anything like that?
No, actually, I
Good.
haven't.
Good.
Which has been nice. I've gotten a lot of support actually. Just from like everybody in the running community. I got messages from people that I hadn't spoke to in years, like thanking me for like doing this and like standing up for like all of the athletes and the runners. And and there's like after like the court case came out that I was allowed in the state meet, there were other runners that had been pulled out that were allowed back in. So I was at a race during spring, and one of the dads came up to me and was like, "Thank you so much. Because of your case, my daughter was able to run." And she ended up winning in her.
Nice.
Wouldn't have even been able if we hadn't gotten this case. So, just a lot, which has been really, really good.
Not only are you getting, all this great training and running, but you're also getting a whole lesson on the legal system as a high school athlete.
Yes, which was actually really cool because I actually loved the whole legal process, and her lawyer was great. I was talking to her about like, the whole process of becoming a lawyer. So now I'm even thinking that might be an avenue that I want to pursue. A really good learning experience, actually.
Good. And it's so great that you can smile and that you can keep it positive because something very important was almost taken away from you. So I'm glad that everything worked out and that you're able now to keep fighting and to be able to talk about it and, look back and see some of the positive things, like it was a great learning, experience and things like that. So that's good.
And have you also thought about going to, isn't there like petition.org and also doing something there where athletes can put signatures and just like make the petition name like just change the rule and like have like New York athletes and parents sign it? You could get like 1 million signatures on that one. I guarantee like it would be one of the like biggest petitions of all time because it is such a simple thing. And if you ever do something like that, please let us know. We will blast out just change the rule here and have people go on and sign it. I'll sign it. I know Dave will sign it because I feel like that in conjunction with the court case may force their hand to just be like, hey, we're above 18. Let's act like adults and just do it. I mean, God, that drives me nuts.
I mean, to me, it sounds like it was a rule that might have been in place, kind of like you said, that nobody even thought about, nobody cared about until someone was like, oh, well, if you read, into the rules exactly. So like someone made it a point to bring this thing up that was probably dead and forgotten about. No one even thought about it. And then all of a sudden, well, it is written down, so we have to look at it.
I mean, there's a rule in like West Virginia that you can't like leave your pie out on the windowsill on a Sunday. So, people still go to jail for that. It's one of those things where it's like a rule that shouldn't be around anymore that's still around that people are using. So I am incredibly happy that you won your case. You were able to compete and, you've had a good year this year. It hasn't hampered you from, getting into BYU and things like that. So, in the end, I'm happy you're continuing to fight. I hope you win. I think you're going to win. I think this rule will be changed and it could be a benchmark, like I said, for other athletes in other states. If they do have to lawyer up, they can then look and see, oh, there is case law based in New York on a similar rule. Let's use that to go win. So really pumped. And I hope that you do become a lawyer and go fight nonsense like this at some point, because you're, you already have that competitive fighting spirit there, so it would work. So you mentioned earlier talking about long-term goals and things like that. How did BYU end up fitting into those long-term goals? What was your recruiting process like, especially going through all of this madness? Like, how did that, how did it all end up being BYU?
Okay, so my aunt and uncle actually ran for Coach Taylor before she was at
Wow.
BYU.
Wow.
So her
Nice.
first coaching job at a small state school in California, Stanislaus. They were first team, I believe. And when I was in middle school, they're like, "Oh, we loved her. She's coaching at BYU now. She's starting to like make she's building up the program a bit." This is before like they were like
I'd say
really,
that.
really good like they are now. So they're like, "Oh, like you should like talk to her," and like they loved her, and so they kind of started building a relationship off of that, and then just like having the girls on the team that are like such great role models and share like similar values and beliefs, and just really good people to be around, like the kind of people that I would like to be more like myself. I feel like it's just a great environment, and really excited to be a part of. And yeah, like Coach Taylor, like having that connection with my uncle, and just like seeing how she treats all the girls on the team like family, I think is really important. I really value like that strong connection, and those important relationships between people. And I think being somewhere, like I said, like that we're going to be treated like family and not just another runner to score points is going to be really
I
a
mean,
great
listen,
thing.
we like we said, we had on Megan Hunter, spoke very, very highly of Coach Taylor. I mean, you don't get to be where she is without being a great coach and without knowing how to communicate with young adults and with athletes. And you certainly don't get asked to be a Nike coach.
Oof.
If you know, like, I mean, you are going to probably the hottest, toppest coach in the whole country now. Like, she is it. Like, that's where all girls want to go, and also boys for Ed Eyestone. But like, it's the distance place now. It's becoming kind of what NAU was about 2 or 3 years ago. It's the place now to go for a distance. So you just have to be so excited to go to run with her, to run with all these kids on the team. Just your recruiting class is insane.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited about it. And yeah, like you said, coach, best coaches in the country, maybe even internationally, one of the best. And yeah, like I have a lot of long-term goals. And like I said, I've just been kind of like slowly building up to that. And there I can really start working on those long-term goals and get there. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna
And
be great.
from just talking to you, it sounds like you're training hard, but you're holding something back, waiting to get to that next level. Like, and then you're like, all right, I'm not going to be burnt out. I'm going to be fresh and ready to go. It sounds like you have a whole plan in your head. Like maybe you could be doing more now, but you're not willing to sacrifice now for what it is that you think that you could be in the future. And that's hard. That takes a lot of just confidence, knowing who you are, because from what I gather, it sounds like you feel like you could be running faster now, but you just want to wait and make sure that you give yourself every opportunity to be the best when it's the right time.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's definitely a hard thing to do, especially when you see these people that you could be running with. If you trained a little bit harder, if you just did a little bit more, you could be right there. It's definitely difficult to have like that self-restraint sometimes, but I think it's really important like to stay true to yourself and like your goals and your values, and not get caught up in what everybody else is doing. Not think like, oh, well, this is what I should be doing, so I'm just going to do it. Really stay true to
Yeah, and I
yourself,
mean,
what you think and what you think is right
shout
to
out
do.
to your coach. Shout out to your coach, because that's a hard thing for a high school. It's like, I have this girl who could, maybe run faster, but we're holding her back because it's what's best for her. That's not an easy thing for a coach. So I don't know your coach, but kudos. That's a very tough thing to do, and that's very, very worthy of praise. that's awesome.
Definitely. Coach Ryan has been amazing. To your point, in middle school, I was one of the top ranked runners. I probably, but we decided not to. Just we didn't think that to get into that intensive race at such a young age as a 7th grader. And I was completely fine with. He was like, whatever you guys need to do, I'm okay with. Then we talked to him a few years later, and he's like, yeah, that was kind of a difficult pill to swallow, but if that's what you really thought was best for you, then that's what I was going to be good with. So yeah, he's been awesome.
But that's a coach who listens to his athletes and completely, is doing what is best for you. Like every athlete has a different plan. So again, kudos to your coach. That's really cool.
And on top of that, it's actually really, really nice when your fallback and holding back is 4:40 in the mile.
Yeah,
and
that's
13 in the 2 mile. Like that's really nice when that's your. I'm gonna constrain myself.
I would take that as a coach. I'd be like, all right, you know what? We're gonna hold you back. You're only gonna run 4:40.
And Dave, the other thing that's unique to New York that we don't do in Jersey is middle schoolers can run in high school events, can compete in high school events. Yeah, like 7th and 8th graders, if you're good enough, you can go and compete. So the fact that, like what Zariel was saying, where she could have ran at high school states probably as an 8th grader, 7th grader, but it was like it's a tougher choice because Zariel, my everyday job is I am a driving instructor, so I'm around 16, 17-year-olds all the time. And so I'm around some of those athletes, and they're like, yeah, I'm a junior, I'm a senior, and there's an 8th grader on my tennis team that's the number one tennis player. And for me, I'm just like looking at it like from Jersey, you couldn't do that in Jersey. Middle school, stay till middle school. After 8th grade, it was not, only high schoolers competed in the high school events. I don't know what I would have done if I'm a senior and then all of a sudden there's an 8th grader crushing me in the mile. I might have just walked away. I'd have been like, nope, I'm done here. Not doing that. But so it is there is that major difference between New York and New Jersey. So bigger kudos to Coach Ryan for having that discipline of looking at the middle school and going, oh, let's go. But, and again, good on you, good on your mom and dad, and good on your family too, because I think it is tough as parents too, when you're seeing your child excel so much, to tell them, pump the brakes. There's time, because there is always the hard reality of, everyone could get hurt. And again, I know it's always a tough thing, but to have that discipline, to have that emotional and intelligence to say, I'm good. And to also be content with what you have done so far, to be like, I'm fine. Like, and you should be, right? You made it to BYU. You're New York's top middle distance runner. It's like, you absolutely are in the perfect headspace for where you need to be. So, really, really cool stuff. And it shows, and it's, Dave, we said it before and we'll say it again. The high schoolers that we have on this show have a maturity level that I could never have imagined having.
I would not have been able to even talk. I would have been like, when I was in high school.
So, Zariel, kudos to you, your coaches, your family. You guys are all fantastic. I think you have a super bright future ahead of you.
Well, thank you.
Agreed.
So I also want to jump in to talk a little more about those long-term goals, because obviously you're not done yet this year. You still have nationals and things like that. And then it's off to BYU. What are your longer term goals? What are you looking to do while you're at BYU and in college? And are you looking to go even further? Are you looking to go past BYU and looking at Grand Slam, Diamond League, the new Athletics League popping up? Are those all things that you're looking forward to and is like, I could see myself being there?
Yeah, I mean, for now, set like more like achievable goals, so like you get it. It's like, okay, I'm here. Like now, I'll set the next thing. But once I get to BYU, then like I said, I can really start working on those long-term goals. So like I know I can trust Coach Taylor, and like she knows what she's doing. So once I get there, just whatever she thinks, I know I can trust, and to be able to help out next year, maybe to score in cross country. I know there's still, or even like in track maybe. I know there's still a lot of room for me to grow to be able to do that. And I'm going to have to improve a lot to be able to do that. So,
Sure.
yeah, just working with the to improve to be able to about the team next year. I'm really looking forward to that. And then do well in NCAA and see where it takes me after that.
So here's the question. How much more intense do you anticipate the training being at BYU compared to what you're doing now?
A lot more intense. I mean, I'm doing like fairly well right now, but compared to what other people are doing, I'm not doing that much. Like I go to my high school practice. I run with the girl. I'll run the workouts. And
Yeah.
I don't do the weight room. I don't really like eat whatever I want. I feel like it's a perk of being a distance runner. But I like work out at the pool. A lot that they do that I'm and like a lot more time that could be put into it than I'm putting in right now. So
A little bit of technical difficulties here. Sorry, everyone. You still with us, Ariel? I think she's trying to work it out real quick.
I mean, but you know what? But she proves a huge point here. Like the difference, and at least she already knows. Like I feel like sometimes these high school kids they think that it's just going to be kind of a little more of the same, and then when they get there, like some of them they can't handle that big change in either it's training, base, lifting, changing your whole diet. Like it's BYU is going to be as close to a pro level
Oh yeah.
as you can get because her head coach is a pro coach too.
Mm-hmm.
Which
What
is
I appreciate from her, though, and what we heard in terms of her, she's eating what she wants, she's doing what she's allowing herself to be a kid while
yes,
she's a kid, and she's not trying to be a college kid yet. She's not trying to be a pro yet. Understanding she has the ability to probably be right up there as a high level collegiate runner next year or
oh,
2 years,
absolutely.
and has that ability that at least the talent is there to probably pursue a pro career, right? But allowing yourself to be a kid while she's in high school. And I think that's something that we've talked about here is
Yes,
if there is that potential for balance. And, we talk about it with Quincy Wilson, whether or not and it seems like he's still doing the high school thing and stuff like that. So, it's exciting to
listen.
see someone like
As
her
long as
who
we don't
has that.
see Quincy running against college kids who are not unattached, then I guess he's going to be just fine. What
I
a
mean, Butler's
stupid
probably they
rule!
they probably have different rules over in the state. Yeah, no, that I'm very happy
Butler's has like
that
14
Zariel's
coaches,
fighting against that.
by the way.
I know. Well, I mean, they are built like they are bigger than most college programs.
Yeah,
Like that is there are
they're
sports
a
down in
juggernaut.
Bullis are pro level. Yeah, no, that's and good on them. If you're good enough to go to Bullis and train there. And I mean,
Yeah,
we had Colton Dean who goes to IMG. IMG is a very similar
same thing.
situation where they treat it very well. And Colton's had a really good season himself. Top decathlete in high school in the country. I'm hoping Colton can go and kick some butt over at nationals again. We're rooting for him over there. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I'm hoping Zariel can get back just so we can finish out the show. We'll buy some time.
You know what though? It's rare that you hear a high school kid talking about how they're holding back and that they are aware that they're holding back and that they are okay because it's got to be hard being in the meet. Just like she said, like, I know I could probably beat that person if I was just doing more, but to have a plan set in place and to actually adhere to it and to keep it going, even when you're at that national, because it's easy to put that a plan in a place when you're not running any national meets, when you're just doing well. But once you get to that level and you're like, oh, like that's awesome.
And on top of that, I think I just want to clarify too, because like when we say holding back, doesn't mean she's not giving it her all when she competes.
Oh,
It
no,
doesn't
right,
mean that
right.
like
No,
when she's on the track, you could see she's
she's
fierce. She's trying to win
100%. Yes.
championships. She's trying to beat everyone she can. But in terms of like she said, she's not hitting the weight room. She's not doing the I'm not eating anything right now.
Right.
Like I'm on the strict stuff, and so and to see her be able to do it, like, she knows where her potential can be once she really hits training, and I think
which
her
is
being so
such an advantage to
and
to have that.
her being so open about it too, like, it's gonna help Coach Taylor, right? Because Coach Taylor is gonna know, yes, I have this top 10, top 15 runner in the country coming in, but unlike some of the other girls we're getting, I'm not gonna let her jump in XC and go, okay, you need to have a base of 80 miles coming in. Like, maybe I'm gonna tell Zariel, okay, get me to 60 miles coming in, get me in your base there, and then we can build you up to that
Yeah,
mileage level because
I'm
there's
not sure how much she's doing now.
no,
I don't know, but it sounds like there's a lot of room for growth, which is
yeah.
awesome.
And and it's so there's and again her openness, because there's also a lot of athletes that may fear that openness even at the elite level, to say like, hey, Coach Taylor, one of the best coaches in the world, like, I'm not doing what everyone else is doing in terms of being really hardcore about all this stuff. Like, I'm just being a kid and I'm competing my brains out, working hard when I need to, but I'm also
Yeah.
still enjoying being a high schooler. And for her to be honest about that openly, like obviously on this show, it shows a high level of maturity. It shows, like we've seen with a lot of our elite athletes, the confidence, because
Yeah.
it shows through.
Right.
Zariel knows she's talented.
Yeah.
She knows that when she goes to BYU, she's going to belong at BYU. When she gets in these national races, she belongs in these national
Sure.
races. Like, and I think the fact that she realizes that she's not doing the same workouts, because obviously Strava, you see it, she's not doing the same things and still getting to this level, is only giving her more confidence.
Oh, absolutely.
So she's trying to reconnect. She messaged us over here saying, and I hope at least we can get her back so we could say goodbye.
Yes.
Because this has been through some of like the technical stuff that we've had. Here she is.
All right. Hi.
Oh,
All right,
nice. You got the phone.
Yes, the computer was not connecting to the internet, so I had to switch it up.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much for jumping back in. And you're nice and clear there too, and everything. So it's awesome. But so we were just talking about how we were giving you praise for all of your maturity and being able to kind of be a high school athlete. Not
Be a
find
kid still.
yourself, be a kid and not have the pressure of trying to be like all these other athletes and being on top of it and always like eating the right thing, going to sleep exactly on time, and being open about it. And, I was mentioning to Dave just how much of a benefit that's going to be for Coach Taylor to know that she's not getting this person who's already trying to be a collegiate athlete. Like, she's going to have to mold you into one, which is a great thing. No, you there? Did we lose Ariel again? Oh no, we may have lost her again. But we're gonna hang out for a little longer, definitely.
Yeah.
Try and get her back on so we can at least say so long. But outside of that, Dave, Brooks PR was one of the best meets I've seen
High school
in a
wise,
long time,
it
high
was great.
school wise. The pro races were okay. Some of the times
Yeah, but I
left a
mean,
little to be
you
desired.
go to that meet because
For the
it's a high school great
I
invitation.
think it's cool that they have the junior level too. Like
That is cool.
they have the juniors
Middle
level
school.
there running well. Yeah, which is awesome,
I mean,
right?
and some of those middle school kids are ridiculous too.
Yeah, listen, some of these middle school kids are running faster than the high school kids. Like, again, a seventh grader running 53, you're not catching high schoolers running 53, like at top level.
It's
Like, she would be that she would be at nationals at high school already.
yeah.
It's mind blowing, and that's a great meet. I love the Brooks
Listen, I
PR
mean,
meet.
and like I said, like the New Jersey dominance there was like, I mean, Joe Barrett coming back with his last half in 205, kicking in 61, like just incredible. I mean, Paige, I mean, Natalie Dumas, just incredible stuff. Reese from RFH, Clemmy, like just unbelievable. Just
I
the
mean,
fact that New Jersey had that many people invited is awesome. It's
we
across the
need
country, like
the
that's
last thing the Brooks
cool.
PR meet needs is now the big pros to jump in there.
Yeah.
The big pros. So, Zariel, we are going to. Are you with us again? Oh, she's out. Okay, so let's talk a little Grand Slam while she's trying to
All
jump.
right, let's do it.
So, Grand Slam Philly, what was your impression? Because it was a different vibe. Sid didn't win. Gabby didn't win. Kenny was the one that really hold true. He's still undefeated. Grant
Grant didn't
struggled
win.
in that 3K. He
did.
didn't look great at
No,
all.
he did
He
not.
got his ass kicked in the 3K. The 1500 showed out, but there's got to be some tweaks though, because those 1,500 guys are getting exposed in that 8 real bad.
Badly, yeah.
Like for me, I love watching the 15, and it's awesome watching the 800 guys go and run some good 15s. But then when you're coming back and watching Cole, Yard, and Kerr run 146, it's a little tough.
I mean, first thing that I noticed is that I'm expecting A-Rop to run some ridiculous times.
A-Rop is going to be good. Zariel, you back with us? I saw her pop in.
She's
We're going to
trying.
keep trying now. We are going to keep trying.
A for effort.
We
But
are going to, yeah, so go ahead.
I thought it was cool because I was able to get a better idea of the atmosphere because I've been there so many times to that stadium.
So one thing that Mr. 100K did say, which kudos to Grand Slam for doing it, they closed out a ton of the seats. You couldn't go to a lot of the seats.
Which is what we said.
Just the main section that was open, but that's smart, right? Optically, it looked great.
Yep.
So Zariel, you with us? Can you hear us? Darn.
No, but you're right. And that's what we said is they have to sanction off certain areas because it looked good on TV. Like because that stadium, like the crowd.
Quick, Zariel, if you can hear us at any point, chime in and let us know. She's popping back out again. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Dave.
No, but I'm saying like it was just great because that front row you're right there. You're like leaning over the track. So like and it was just cool. Like it just felt close because everybody was down low. The fans seemed to love it, and I definitely thought that the time in between races was much improved. Like I didn't feel we were waiting for an event to start, like going back and forth. Like it was better, and I liked 2 days. I thought 2 days was a better form because people have to come back and double. It reminded me of like a high school meet almost in a sense.
What about getting rid of the 15? I mean, the 5K.
Obviously I don't love that, but I do feel that it made the smoother meet. I'm a distance guy, so I always love that. But I mean, I do like having one distance race because it's a better quality race. Like when we had the 5 and the 3, one of them was just like high school kid times.
If you could force the 5K athletes to race, though, run, not go run 14:30, go run sub 13 or run 13 flat. You know what I mean? Like,
if I could pick, I would pick a 5 over a 3, but I'm glad that there's only one.
But what does that do for the structure though? Because then you got to get rid of distance.
Yeah,
get rid of long distance in general going
mean,
forward. Nothing over 15.
It's
a waste of their time.
They didn't really explain how that works with the points, like because Grant was, I mean, obviously until this meet, he was close to being up there, but he has one less chance. So
and he can't be the MVP.
No, he can't now
At that point. Yeah. Well, even if he won the 3K, like you can't give it to him. I mean, running less races.
That's the other thing that this means, like if we're not talking, like if we're getting into the actual structure of Grand Slam, which I hope is a place that we transition to rather than talking about the crowd, we can talk about the actual meet itself. It's wide open now. Not so much on the guy side. I mean, Kenny's there and DeSantis is there, but like on the girl side, it is wide. I'm sorry, say female side. It is wide open. Like, I mean,
you're used to saying girls because you're a high school coach.
Like Sid had it in the bag, but to her credit, she tried something new. And I mean, you called it. She almost won. Like she ran.
You can't count her out.
She is just a fierce competitor. But I mean, there were so many great things. I mean, I wish that they would have gone faster, but I mean, I don't know if you'll get a better group of runners than we had in that men's 15-8 group. I mean, who was there?
I think they need to tweak things. I do eventually think they're going to get rid of the 2-race structure. I do. So Zariel messaged us saying she might not be able to get back on. The internet is down. So Zariel, if you are watching this at some point, we just want to say thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much.
We had some connection issues, but your story is awesome. What you're fighting for is great. We will have you on again in the future.
Listen,
when you are crushing it at BYU.
Just the fact that she wanted to come on today, the fact that she was at Brooks, flew home today, was on a train. She just her dedication, just being on the show was amazing. Like she had every opportunity to say, no, I'll go tomorrow. But she just that shows me what kind of person that she is. And I mean, it sounds, I wish that we could have talked longer, but it sounds like BYU is getting an absolute gamer.
Yeah, no, we are. I say this a lot of our athletes, and I think it's true. We are going to be looking at in a few years, Zariel Macchia as a nationals and a true legitimate competitor in whatever event she chooses to do over there, and a threat to being a national champion. So I'm excited to see what she can do.
Hey,
It's exciting.
one more thing.
Yeah.
Congrats to Emma Zawatsky for picking her new school, Georgetown.
Yes. And the fun. So speaking of picking, Emma obviously picking Georgetown. That's exciting for her, and we're pumped for her. And I think
She's a Hoya.
she'll do great things over there.
That
And
school has a great tradition.
they do. They have a really good tradition. And I was going to joke around and ask Zariel if she had picked the national meet yet, because I know that that's something that they make announcements for now, and they hold it close to the vest if they're going to New Balances or Nikes or Adidas or something like that.
Just on my team, we have our shuttle hurdle and our freshman girl is going to New Balance. Our shot putter's like, you know what? When am I ever going to get a chance to go to? So he's going to Haywood Field. He's throwing the shot in Haywood Field in Oregon. That's where he chose to go. So it's weird. Like even on our own team, we have people going different ones. Do I wish there was only one national meet? Sure, but my perspective has changed some.
They're running so fast now.
Well, and
it's crazy.
my perspective has changed some since everybody is running so fast now that if there was one meet, so many kids would be left out who are worthy of going. So that's the only thing that I like, that there are multiple options. But I would love to have one national champion.
Period.
Correct.
It's like, yeah, are you worthy of going that year? If you didn't make it, you're not. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? It's like saying that, yeah, in the NCAA, there's some great kids in D2, but they're not D1. They're worthy, but they're not there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I get what you're saying, though. It gives these more kids these chance at more exposure, too. It helps.
Yeah, like my kid threw 57 feet. If there was one meet, I don't know if he would get to go, because just in New Jersey, that's like 12th.
And he gets a bunch of swag now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Over from over there. And it's
from Nike, yeah.
It's awesome. I'm excited. And yeah, I was gonna ask her if she has made a decision and she wanted to make the announcement here. And which I doubt she would have. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see where she goes, because obviously Zariel Macchia is going to be a big factor at whatever national meet she decides to compete at. I'd imagine, I think it's different when you're someone like her who has traveled around the country already doing some meets.
Sure, like she was just in Washington this weekend.
Where State, the appeal of necessarily, like, let's all be honest, Zariel Macchia is going to compete at Haywood Field at some point in her career. Like, that is going to happen. So she's not going to, it's not necessarily going to be I got to go to Hayward because I might not. Right. Like, she can comfortably go to New Balances, where I think most of us still consider the main national meet, and that's not a knock on anyone at
no,
Nike.
I mean, especially where we are, on the East Coast. Like why would you not run at Franklin Field? And
it's convenience.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, and it's a well-run meet. Like New Balance does a great job. They have a lot of their pros coming out. Like Sid was at the Indoor Nats last year. Like it's New Balance does a very good job. I have not seen much of the structure of the. I mean, does anybody even go to the Adidas meet?
A lot of Southern athletes do. Because it's right there in the South. So it does. It is the nice part about the regional side of it, where you'll get a lot of your California athletes, your major California ones. They will go to Nike more or less, and that's a huge state. California has a ridiculous running tradition. So it's cool to see them getting their chance there, where you get the Northeast, a lot of the Northeast staying there, and Texas kind of disperses. They'll go to Adidas, but they'll go to all three. Like, Texas kind of branches, I think.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, obviously, I would love to keep those and then have one more meet.
Oh, I would love that too. But
you get top 3 at
coaches already coaches were complaining about dual meets. You want to add another national meet?
The only problem is that it's just so late in our season. Like it's. I mean, like I have a couple kids running this Wednesday, and it's like, all right, like
I'm sorry, the gamers would go though.
They would.
Here's the thing: if you said top 5 from each meet,
that'd be awesome.
plus or top 3 from each meet.
And
compete, and then what is it? You want to round it out to 16? So give me 7 wild cards.
Yeah,
from top 3 from each meet, from 7 wild cards from all of them. Yeah, well, just 7 wild cards from the competitors. The time in those meets matters. Your distance in those meets matters, and let them do.
You know how fast that would be.
You know how much fun it would be to crown a legitimate national champion in high school.
It'd be cool.
Hey, USATF. Let's go, Federation.
USATF should have
Let's go.
national high school
USATF
meet.
should run a high school nationals. And here's the
Because
thing.
nationals
USATF
are
should
not
do it in general.
through like your school anyway. Like it's you have to enter it. You know, like I mean, you can run for but it has to be some sort of
You
club.
have to qualify via your school, but you're in a club doing it.
Sure.
So USATF should do it anyway. They should sit there and I know there's a tradition. I love New Balances, but they should just stomp on all of them and say, hey, no one's a national champion unless you compete at ours. Here's your bridge to getting
but use those meets as
qualifiers. Yeah. Yeah. Because you know what? Not every state could be Jersey and have a meet of champions. Boom. There it is. If every state had a meet of champions, then you can have a legitimate national qualifier, but they don't because they aren't. Anyway, I'm not going to be mean to other states anymore. It was lots of fun having Zariel on. Everyone, once again, go find her on Instagram at Zariel Macchia. Also, I want to compliment her. She has an awesome name, but we didn't get a chance to. I think Zariel's a cool name.
Donate to her GoFundMe.
Yes, putting that up there. All you have to do is go and search Justice for Athletes. You'll see her green Floyd singlet competing, and go there and donate. She has a goal of $7,500 for legal fees. Legal fees are not cheap.
Nope.
And she is fighting for all future athletes in New York State, and hopefully will help all the athletes around the country. And we will be back Thursday, Dave.
We will.
Doing it again, doing it Thursday. I'm excited for our guests then, but we're not telling you today. We will tell you later. But we'll see all you guys then. You will find out Thursday. So everyone have a great night. Bye, y'all.
So long, guys.